started off in the field of real estate and really had an interest in working with seniors. They've taken the accredited senior agent, and then they said, you know what, I just love this. I love seniors, I love what I'm learning, but I need to step up my game. So I look at the Master-ASA as sort of my village. Like I always say, it takes a village to raise children. Well, it takes a village to help seniors in transition, and I like to feel that the ASA people were such a community of people that just genuinely want to work and help seniors in all phases of their life and as they transition to another home or wherever that may be. You know, I think we are people that genuinely really feel and understand what you're going through, and we understand that we want you to feel worthwhile. You are worthwhile as a senior, and in today's society, I get very emotional about this. Seniors, they're just very undervalued, and I think you guys have so much to offer us, and therefore that's why all of us together, that's why we created this organization, because we all feel this way. You know what, I've always my whole life been involved with helping others and acts of kindness. That's been my personality. About 13 years ago, my mom, when she developed Alzheimer's, I had to take care of my mom more and more, and she went to a retirement home about 3 years ago, and before she went to retirement home, actually 6 years ago she went to retirement home, I had to take care of her, and I learned, and it was my biggest blessing to take care of my mom as she went through this process and died. And I saw her every day, and I gave her a bath twice a week, and I nurtured her. And then I had my dad move in with me. He's been with me for 7 years, and he's 90, and I saw them sell their home and go through all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is like a nightmare. Like nobody has anything in place for these seniors, and it was through the genuine love and passion for my parents and their worthiness, and that I just felt that I need to help more people become better. Well, I find this to be more of a philosophical question. I feel like I serve society. It's not just to me about the seniors. I thought it was. I initially did this because I thought I'm just helping seniors move, and this is how I make a living. I kind of thought that, but sincerely. Then I realized I'm helping society because I'm helping seniors and helping people find a better place to live, make the process better for them. And when the seniors and our elderly population are happier, like there's got to be, the rest of the world benefits from that. Our kids, the grandkids, we just all benefit from the way we treat our seniors. Well, that's a tough one. That's a really emotional one. I'll use an example of something that happened last week. I have a woman, 91 years old. She's moving to a retirement home, and she's got these beautiful paintings that her mother painted. So they're like years and years ago, her mother painted when she was younger, and there's like 20 of them. And she's going to take a couple of them to her retirement residence. Her children are going to take a couple, and then there's like 7 left over. And she was like crying about them, and I'm like, oh, this is killing me. And I sit there and I made this promise, and this is what a Master-ASA does. I said, you know, I'm going to promise you that I'm going to find you homes for these beautiful countryside paintings. I have lots of friends that have cottages. I will guarantee you that they will find the right home. And so she felt happy and comfortable that I am going to find the right thing. And again, that's what a Master-ASA does. We do these things for our clients. And you know, when I work with my regular residential real estate people, it's like, I care, but the seniors, the treasures will be treasured by us as well as by them. Absolutely. I think this is again a really key thing that as a Master-ASA that we do is we want you to be involved. I hear it from a lot of the clients, you know, they'll complain. You know, again, an example of someone that says, you know, I go to my doctors, I complain, my legs are all swollen, and they were like, oh my God, they were like this big, and she goes into the doctor's office, and the doctor just looks at her and goes, yeah, come back later, and like, nothing happened, and it makes me sad because nothing happens. And you know, she said to me, you know, I guess because I'm old, I'm gonna die soon, it's not important, and like that's so, excuse me, it's like it's so not right, like it's so. Yes, you will be involved. You do count. It's all about you, and when I offer you advice, it's genuinely with you in your, you know, you in my mind to make the best decision to help you through this process. I know, and I can remember buying penny candy, and I would buy 3 peppermints for a penny. And you're right, it was so cheap. So you could buy a house for like. My dad bought his first house for $5,000, and you're right. It does cost so much to buy things, but guess what? Your house is worth like $500,000. You paid $5,000 for it, and just like my dad and other seniors that I work with, you have to realize that you have to pay a little bit more, but you're going to be getting so much more, and this is what's going to give you the quality of life that you need to have as you go into your newer condo or your new retirement residence or wherever it is. So yeah, it does cost more, but like I said, 3 peppermints for a penny. It's all relative, and I think it's all for the good. You know what? You live in your home. This is your home. Your house is beautiful. The shag carpet you love. This is your home. But guess what? You're going to be selling it to another family. And that other family, they may love your shag carpeting. They may not. What happens with this day and age? A lot of young people, when they're looking at homes, they're, I think, a little bit lazier than my generation, your generation. They want things to be done for them. They want the hardwood, they want the granite, and they want it now. I walked into a client's house, and a woman was in her 80s, and she said, I've interviewed 3 or 4 real estate agents, and they've told me a couple of things I have to fix up, and they're going to put my house on the market next week. How fast can you put my house on the market? And I'm like, ooh. Looking at her, and I said, you know what? I said, where are you going? She said, I don't know. And I said, wow. I said, do you not think it's important to figure out where you're going to go? And we talked for about an hour to look at what her finances were and this and that. It ended up taking us probably 7 months to be able to work with her finances, to figure out where she's going to be living. My God, if someone had sold her house in a week, she would have been in so much trouble. This is a woman who had no husband, had no children, and her one sister lived in the States. She would have been in so much trouble. And her money was so minimal, she would have been in financial ruins. Therefore, it's so critical to understand where it is that you're going. Sometimes it's better to sell, sometimes it's not. I'm not saying that, but I need to know your story. In a nutshell, it really depends on the relationship that you really have with your children. Do you ask your children for advice on everything that you do? If you do, then we should probably try to involve your children. If you don't, and you're totally independent, we don't need to do that, other than just as an information. Retirement residences, there's great ones, there's bad ones, there's mediocre ones, expensive ones, cheap ones. As a professional, I do spend a lot of time researching that. So, it's really something that I like to offer to my clients. If you're not close with your children, or you don't have someone or a neighbor you can take, or if you have a neighbor you want to take, let's hop in the car, let's check out a few places if you're interested. If not, how about if I set you up with some people that you can go on your own and meet, whatever it is that you need to. There are lots of really good reasons why, and we also, since this is our first meeting here, I need to figure out, maybe we can just make your home more accessible. Maybe you don't need to move. I don't just sell houses. I try to make the best solution for the seniors, regardless of whether it's selling or staying. I give advice to the best of my knowledge on house values. I spend a lot of time, I probably spend way too much time talking about real estate, and I bought and sold a lot of real estate, and I do a lot every year, and I spend a lot of time researching what a home is worth. And I think I've got a pretty good idea of what it is worth, and that's why when I'm meeting with you right now, we're going to look at what houses have sold for in the area, what's for sale. If it's of value to you, we'll hop in the car and we'll go look at all the houses that are for sale in your area. Let's see what people are getting for their money. Your story. I need to know where you're going and why you're going. I also want to know about you, and I find it, this is my selfish part, I find it genuinely interesting listening to your story. I want to know what's going on and where you've been, and there's great value to me and how I can serve other clients better when I have this story. The house that I sold yesterday in Scarborough was a great example. The client had said to me, this is what my time frame is. I respected her time frame, and she wanted to maybe haggle for another $3,000 or $4,000. And I stopped in the middle of the offer and I said, well, wait a minute. You said to me you wanted to have September and October would be the last time after 58 years living in your home. You wanted to enjoy the fall. You wanted to see the trees, the leaves fall, and you were okay with that. So that's what you wanted, right? She goes, yes, you listened. And she said that, and I go, I did. I listened to what you said. And I said, this is what we want to do, right? And she looked at me and she goes, you know what, Trudi, you understand. And it really was an accomplishment for me that I did understand and I did listen, and that's something that I really work hard on, is listening to my clients. I have 5 kids. I can't get any of them to stop bugging me. I can't guarantee anything, but what I will do is I will get them to respect this process. And they will respect me and they will respect you through that process. And I will do my best to make sure that I safeguard you that that does happen.